Hey everybody, I'm Cedric Hawkins and welcome to the CedTalks Podcast. My guest today is my cousin, but she's also someone who's persevered in her young life, and I am proud to showcase her story right here on the podcast today. Without further ado, here is Miss Crystal Creek. Creek, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Yo, it's been a long time coming. I've been trying to get you on the show since August, but you've been pretty much all over the world, and so now I got you sitting down here with me, so, thank you for your time, Creek, and I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. I'm able to get on the show here.
Absolutely. Right off the bat, I got to ask you, you're in the military right now. You've been traveling to different spots and whatnot. How has that been affecting you, of course, given that we are going through a worldwide pandemic at the time?
It's been overwhelming. It has its ups and downs, but so far it's actually been really good. I got to meet a lot of new people and stuff like that. And you just get to learn different cultures, so it's just been a breeze.
Right. You're in North Dakota right now, right?
Yes, and it is freezing
Yeah,
here.
yeah. That's crazy to me because, here in Maryland, we don't even think of, North Dakota. Of course, it's cold up here in Maryland, but just the fact you're all the way up in North Dakota, up north, it's just crazy to think about.
Yes, I would have never thought of it because it gets in the negatives, -3 degrees, and so far that's good weather to them. So
man, you got it. You got it. I can't do that cold weather. I need some warm weather.
Yes, they have snowboarding, skiing, stuff like that. So you kind of make fun out of the cold instead of freezing all day.
Exactly. When you first went off to the Army, you did basic training and whatnot, and after there you stayed for a while. Did you have any difficulty being away with family, or did you adjust to it perfectly fine?
It was very difficult, actually, because I remember, boarding the plane. I never boarded the plane by myself. I'm used to going on the plane with my sister and everything. So boarding the plane, going to, the airport, and it's the airport is just, oh, my goodness. Signs are all over the place, and I just didn't know what to do. So I'm not even going to lie. I was, crying. My adrenaline was kicking in, oh, my goodness, what did I do? And then arriving there was just yelling and stuff, so that just didn't make it any better. But as soon as I got there and then you're everyone's overwhelmed, you start to kind of calm down a little bit and stuff like that, and you're trying to comfort everyone else. So you kind of put your own fears of being away to the side.
Yeah, because I'm sure that was something completely out of your comfort zone, because I know how family-oriented you are, especially with me, because we've always been close together. We pretty much came up together since kids and teenagers, so you being in that different environment, I'm sure it had you a little frazzled to an extent, as you said.
Yes, and especially, oh my goodness, you only get one phone call, and so my one phone call was to call my mom, and she didn't answer, so I'm oh my goodness. And then they allowed me to get another one, and I called my sister, and my sister was able to answer. So I felt good because a lot of people, it was very sad. A lot of the girls, when they were calling home, no one was answering. And so they said we'll do another phone call thing later on or throughout a week. So yeah, that was very terrible. So
yeah, and the one phone call thing, was that all sporadically throughout basic training, or was that for the first few weeks?
Due to COVID, we were able to get a lot of phone calls because of we had to be under quarantine for 2 weeks. So since COVID was going on, we got it was kind of every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, we got a phone call to call back home. Just so our family could know that everything's all right, because we were hidden from social media and all that stuff. So we're not knowing what's going on back on the outside world, and we're just here training and things of that nature. And so your family's talking to you; they're not trying to really say anything. So yeah, that was
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna ask you about that too. When it first happened back in March, how did that really affect you and pretty much everybody on base, given that everything was so hush-hush in the beginning?
So in basic training, we were they closed off the base so no one can go on and off, and then the sergeants are MTIs, they were unable to like see their family, so they were at a hotel and they weren't able to see their family. So we all were kind of like separated from our family. And yeah, it was just due to COVID because COVID was like going rapidly in Texas there. So yep, that's what we did there, and that was pretty hard.
Yeah, I bet it was too. Even I can say it was hard for me, given that I was a college student and I couldn't really go see my friends or my cousins like that the way I wanted to. But you were in a completely different state, hundreds and thousands of miles away from family, and really you can't really do nothing about it. You can't really take a plane and fly out to see them because half the airlines are down. So I know that was probably a really hard time for you at the time.
Yeah, so the phone calls, that's what really kept me going because, yep, I was able to, like, talk to, like, hear everyone's voice and stuff like that. And, yeah, if it wasn't for those phone calls there, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Besides the phone calls, did you have any friends there that really helped you out along the way?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. I made so many friends there, and they were just, the thing is, like, we're surrounded by a whole bunch of girls. It was probably, like, 50 of us. And so everyone has their own, like, personalities. Mind you, we were under quarantine for 2 weeks first. So we started to, like, get the hang of each other, learning each other's personalities, learning what we don't like and what we do like. And it was really nice.
Yeah, that's what's up. Being able to, I guess, connect with somebody in a lot of ways and just, take your mind off the situation for a little bit and just let loose and have fun. I know that's your type of personality, so I'm sure you gelled real well with everybody there.
Yes, because as soon as we got off of quarantine there, that's when, because at first, since we were under quarantine, we were mailing just a lot of letters. And so the letters were also, like, motivating me as well, because I was getting letters from everyone, aunt and my sister and everything, so cousins. And so the letters were, like, amazing. And so anytime I felt down, I would just read the letters and stuff to motivate myself again, like, just to remember, like, my purpose of actually being here. And so, yeah, the letters, they were, like, perfect. And then as soon as we got out of the 2-week quarantine, that's when we started actually training and learning a whole bunch of stuff. So then the days started going by faster. And all that fear and everything else, you stop thinking about it. And you're more so, like, interested in hanging out with everybody, talking to everybody, learning, like, oh, where did you come from? And so that's what was
Yeah, for sure.
pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I got to give a quick shout out to Aunt Daisy, Aunt Brenda. She sent me a couple of letters in the mail during that first period of COVID, and I got to say those letters were very inspiring to me, and it allowed me to keep going towards my purpose of graduating community college because those times was rough. Not being able to have my graduation ceremony and whatnot, but it's like you said, having family there to support you, even if they're a couple of miles away. It's a very rewarding and humbling feeling.
Yes, Aunt Brenda is like the real MVP. Like, I kid you not, every time it felt like every other week I was getting a letter sent from her, and she was just praying for me, encouraging me. Like, her letters were like the main thing, like inspirational. Because some people didn't really get a lot of letters, so that was kind of like, that was hard. So that was, a lot of people didn't get letters. And so her sending me letters were just like on point. Like, it was like sometimes I had a hard day, and then you're just waiting. The sergeant's like, okay, we're going to pass out mail. And then I read her letter, and then I could sleep like a baby.
Absolutely. Shout out to Aunt Brenda, Aunt Daisy. I know she's going to be listening to this. Give a quick shout out to her. And to my granddad, your Uncle Clip. I know he's going to listen to this too. I don't want him to be left out or nothing like that.
Yes.
And shifting gears from that, you and I, we're both very, religious people. Do you feel that God put this pandemic on us for us to really tap into our creative minds, just do what he put us on this earth to do?
Yes, I think he actually did, because the pandemic was an actual eye-opener. It brought people to, like, actually help one another out and things of that nature. Because, oh, my goodness, I remember when I was in line at Walmart, and I was trying to get this, 'cause when I was back at home, I was trying to get a bonfire pit for the kids, for my nieces and nephews, so we can have fun and have a bonfire. And I was standing in line, and online it said that it was cheaper. And so I went to the cash register. I was getting ready to pay for it, and I was telling the guy, oh, this is how much it costs. And I was so excited about it. I was telling the lady behind me, like, yes. I was like, with the pandemic going on, the kids don't have anything to do, so I'm trying to think of something fun to do. So I'm buying this bonfire pit. And so I get to the register, and, yeah, the guy's telling me that I think it was like $100. And so I was like, oh, no, like online it says it's like $70 here. And then the lady behind me, she said, you said you were buying this for your nieces and nephew, right? And I said, yes. And she said that she was going to be able to pay she said she'll pay the $30 for it. And she said if I could put up the 70, we can get that bonfire.
Wow.
And so I was just like, oh, my goodness, thank you so much. I was like, you really don't have to. Thank you so much. So that was like, I really enjoyed that and stuff like that because everyone was just helping each other out. I remember sitting in line, people like paying for people's groceries and things of that nature. Just seeing that was just like, it just made me so happy inside because I was like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I have a similar story to that. It was back in June of last year, and this was at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement and George Floyd and whatnot. And I was at Chipotle, getting something to eat, and the guy, in front of me, he had like this really big like meal that he had gotten. So I was thinking, whatever, it is what it is. And then he told the guy that, pay for the gentleman behind me. And I was like, nah, sir, you don't have to do that. And he was like, no, I want to do it. He was like, just pay it forward next time. And, I feel like God put me in that situation in a sense to know that people are willing to help out and that they do understand. And so in that moment, he told me to pay it forward. And, the next time I went and ate out, I paid it forward. So it's just beautiful to know that people, they're willing to support you and have your back, even in the midst of a time when maybe we should feel selfish or be selfish.
Yeah, so that right there is just like wonderful. Like, oh my goodness, that's just beautiful. It made the pandemic actually have this beauty in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shifting gears from that, what do you think about the importance of prioritizing your needs? Of course, in life, we're going to have wants and everything. That's life in general. We always want stuff. It's always want. But talk to me about the importance of prioritizing your needs.
Oh, this one is a good one because I always would hear it. They will always say a fool begs for what they need and gets what they want. So that right there was like, I'm not even going to lie, cousin. I was that fool. I will always go and get what I want instead of like actually sitting down and putting money aside to get what I actually need. And so I will always have to ask someone like, okay, can you help me to get this here and I'll pay you back. And so now it's just like prioritize, just sitting down and actually just sitting down and just putting up all your bills, like organizing, making sure like you have all the money that you need for your bills aside, and then just a couple of dollars to get what you actually want. And then if you don't have it, then just don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really
exactly.
hard, though.
Yeah, it is hard. You were one of the people who actually taught me that, to really sit down and map out what I need to buy, what I need to get, and not what I want to get. So that way, once I take care of what I need, if I have a little bit of something left over to get what I want, then I can get that. But if I don't have those funds or resources to get what I want, then I'm going to just have to wait on my time, because I always believe in my mind that if it's not in God's will, then it's not my time yet. So I just have to put in my time and do my time, so that way God can bless me with the thing that I wanted the most.
Amen. Yes.
Yeah.
Because, oh my goodness, I will always get what I want. And then, so me sitting down and actually mapping it out of like what all my bills and everything, like that right there was just perfect, because then you actually see how much money like you have to get what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I do like not even with bills. I'm talking like school, work, my podcast, everything. Like, I sit down and I write in my notebook like everything that I need to do in the day or in the week to come, so that way I'm not as frazzled or stressed out, or I feel like I'm not getting enough done. So when I'm sitting and writing it down, it's on paper, and that's telling me, okay, this is what you have to do. Once you get that done, check it off and you move on to the next thing. And if you get everything done, then pretty much your day is complete. So I think writing down, mapping stuff out, what you need to get done, I think that's a perfect tool and a perfect key to success in life.
Yes, and that's what the military helped me as well, to actually get organized and to like map down like everything I need to do. Like, I even have a calendar in my room hanging on my wall, and so I write down everything that I need to done so I don't miss anything. Because if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So
yeah, and that's on you. Drop down and get them push-ups. Yeah. What was your childhood like growing up here in Maryland? I know you and I, we grew up in different counties. I was here in Calvert. You were over in Anne Arundel County. So how was your childhood like as a kid?
It was, oh my goodness, my childhood was like so exciting. Annapolis, Maryland is like, you have a lot to do there. We're kind of like a nautical kind of city. So it's sailing, kayaking, you're doing all of that. I actually went to boating school, and we were able to, like, they gave us the opportunity to get our boater's license. And my sister, she was able to get hers. Me, I was more so just like having a great time and stuff like that. And I actually didn't take the opportunity serious, and I wish I did, but I was young. But it's okay. My sister got her license. So if I ever want to go out on a boat, I could just give her a call and she'll ride us out.
Yeah,
but yes.
Y'all got your boat license. When we going on the boat? I am just learning about this.
Yes, she has hers. Oh my goodness. That was like really exciting. That was like a really great opportunity. And that's what I like about Annapolis. Like, you're open up to a lot of opportunities and stuff like that. Like, you just got to run into the right person and they'll help you out. And, yeah, you can just, oh, my goodness. Yeah, we went to boater school for free. We were in, like, Box of Rain. That was the program there. And they took us to J World, and we were able to go sailing and stuff, kayaking. We were able to do all sorts of things on the water. And, oh, my goodness, we even went fishing and crabbing as well.
That's what's up. And, Anne Arundel County is definitely different from Calvert in the sense that, like you said, there's more opportunities to go out and do stuff. So, hey, I don't even have my boat license. That's something that maybe sometime down the road I would like to dive into. So I think that's great that you and Morgan, you opened up your surroundings and you thought outside the box and you did something pretty much out of the norm that most people don't really do.
Yes, it was, oh my goodness, it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah. What do you think about the experiences and lessons that your mom and dad taught you, especially your dad? What are some of the lessons, morals, and values that come to mind?
Oh my goodness, I thank God for my dad. He taught me so much. So like being out here, because the military makes you grow up quick, so you kind of have to like, you're just thinking, you have to think for yourself, you have to protect yourself. And so everything my dad and my mom instilled in me, like even just the simple, just leaving your drink around on the counter there. My dad will always say, if you left it sitting on the counter, you don't want it anymore. And so one day I left my drink on the counter, and I don't know why I could just hear my dad saying, like, you left it there, you don't want it. So I picked my drink up, and I'm like walking to throw it in the trash can. And one of my sergeants said, oh, sorry. She was like, sorry, I accidentally drunk your Gatorade. And so I was like, oh, it's okay. I was just getting ready to throw it away. Thank you, though. And so that right there was just a blessing, being able to just remember what he instilled in me and what he told me, just for something simple as leaving my drink around. And, yeah, because I could have drunk it, but that right there was just right on time.
Yeah, sometimes I like to reflect and think of some of the stuff that Uncle Steve taught me, like sometimes when him and my granddad would talk, he always would tell him that he would see me, being a leader, being in, fellowship and giving out God's word and whatnot. Of course, at the time, I'm 12, 13, 14. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm not going to do anything like that, like get up and speak in front of an audience. Like, no way. And then fast forward, 5 years or so, I'm giving a sermon in front of a packed church. So it's crazy to think that he was putting out those words out in the atmosphere and pretty much setting the tone for what my life would be like.
Yes, because that's just, oh my goodness. I know it's kind of funny how as kids, like, we don't really think of anything like that. And then next thing you know, we're actually walking in those footsteps. It's just a blessing there.
Yeah, exactly. When he got sick around that time period, maybe it was 2014, 2015, 16, how did that affect you mentally?
Mentally, it was kind of like, it was really bad because, like, we could see how it was getting, because, our family's just strong on faith there. So we just all had faith that he was getting better and things of that nature. And then when he got put on hospice, I was, like, in denial there. Like, I just didn't want to believe that he was, like, that he was going to pass away. So it was really, like, I just wasn't really prepared for it. But I knew, like, it was taking place. So, yeah, it hit me really hard. 2016 was, like, a really hard year for me.
Yeah, I was really shocked by it also because we were at a surprise party. I think it was Aunt Daisy's, and I noticed him, and I probably hadn't seen him in months, and just noticing the amount of weight he had lost, I was like, oh my goodness, like, I can't believe that, Uncle Steve is sick. And then, when he eventually passed on, it just devastated me to no end.
Yeah, because honestly, like, I wasn't, because the people, like, the things that he's done, like, oh my goodness. Like, I just wasn't believing, like, that was happening. I was thinking old age would take place and that's how he would leave this earth. But that was like, oh my goodness. But I'm so thankful for my cousin. I'm so thankful for my cousins because Sierra was saying, like, that our parents and everything, they don't belong to us. They belong to God. And his mission on earth, God placed him on earth to complete a mission, and his mission was complete, so his life was taken. So that right there was a really eye-opener for me because I was really in a dark place. So when she said that to me, that actually sparked something in my heart. So, yeah, shout out to Sierra there because that right there was just my little bit of motivation to get myself back on the right track and to take me out of that dark place. So I was just thankful for that.
Yeah, and that was something that you had told me also when I was talking to you, getting advice about my father, because in the beginning, I wouldn't say I was in denial. I think I was in shock of it all. And then, of course, as the months go on, it starts to really hit you and affect you. And when it was really affecting me, it was affecting me a lot, like a great deal. And, I wasn't on the path of going down self-destructing, but I was getting pretty close to that. And I remember you had told me that too, like, my father, he didn't belong to me. He belonged to God, and it was his time to go, and he had fulfilled his mission and his purpose. I don't know what that purpose was or that mission, but it was time for him to, come on home. And that was something that I had to accept. I didn't have a choice but to accept that. But that was life-changing advice because that pretty much got me back on track, the way my father would want it to be.
Yes, because now, like, they're in a better place now and no more pain. So I'm just thankful for that. And then now I'm able, like, we are able to reflect back on the memories that we had of our loved ones there. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's even more of a blessing.
Yeah, and of course there's good days and bad days, but you have to kind of outweigh the two and figure out the best way to, move your best foot forward. And, sometimes too, self-care is good also. I've come to learn and realize that I don't always have to be on the go 24/7. Like, sometimes I do deserve rest, and I do deserve to just stop and just take a minute and take in my surroundings and take in all the blessings that God has given me, because that gives me a sense of gratitude, and then that allows me to get back up the next day and keep going.
Yes, because I know me being out when I go out in the field and stuff like that, like sometimes like we're just sometimes we're just sitting around and it's just nice to like look up at the stars. Look at the stars in the sky and just being able to see like God's creation and stuff like that, because, oh my goodness, it's just beautiful. And then as I was staring in the sky, it felt like more stars were just appearing. And so sometimes it's just nice to have that quiet time to just take time to yourself and just be able to take a deep breath so that you can get back to the mission and just get back on your feet there.
Yes, I love my quiet time with the Lord. Like I said earlier, I set out a schedule for what I want to do in the day. Like usually around 12 o'clock, 12:30ish, sometimes 11:30. It's just me and God. I turn all the lights out. I'm meditating. I'm taking a nap, and I'm just seeking to hear his voice, and I'm seeking to hear what I need to do next or how I'm doing. It is beautiful, and it lets me know that God is still with me. He hasn't left me, and once I wake up, I'm refreshed and I'm able to, get back on my purpose and keep doing what I'm doing until it's nighttime.
Yes, because sometimes you just need a break from the world. Because I remember being a netless, being in the city and stuff like that. Like, all you hear is, like, cars, stuff like that. You just need a break. So I would go running on the trail back in Quietwater Park with my dog, Kika. So I would go running through the trail and stuff like that to get my mind off things. And then I found myself doing that here in North Dakota. They have, like, beautiful trails and stuff. So I found myself just running on the trail and just getting my mind just away from everything. Sometimes you just need to be by yourself. You just got to take that time to be by yourself and away from people and just to get your mind just off of things, just to get yourself back on track and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. When your dad passed away, your friend had also passed away. I'm not sure if it was a year afterwards or about a few months prior, but, with those two losses, how did you find the strength to persevere and, continue to find your purpose?
Yes, now that was hard as well, because they actually both passed away the same year, 2016. My dad passed away April 30th of 2016, and then my best friend passed away June 6th. So it was hard to, he was like motivating me, like when dad passed away, my dad, oh my goodness, he was a father to other, like my friends and stuff like that. He was just like, oh my goodness, I could go on and on about him, but yeah, so she was just telling me like, oh my goodness, like your dad done so much for me, and just was like motivating me. She was helping me to get myself together from my dad passing away. And then when she passed away, it was just like, oh my goodness, like what's next? So then that's when me and my sisters and stuff like that, it actually grew me closer to my sisters and stuff. Like even though we all lived in the same household and stuff like that, my mom and dad, they were both married. We lived in the same household, but it made our bond much closer because we were both carrying such pain in our hearts. And my best friend at the time, she was basically like my sister as well. She would always be at the house. So that really impacted my whole household. And so, yeah, that just drew us closer and stuff. We started spending more time together, actually going out to eat and stuff like that. Like, we would have dinner and stuff, but we actually took the time to, like, go out to eat, hang out with each other, make sure that we all were doing fine. And so I was thankful that it brought us closer than making us separate and go our separate ways there.
Yeah, I can say the same thing in my sense is that, after my dad passed, it brought me closer to my family and it made me open up more about how I was feeling. And sometimes it's not about my dad. Other times it's about other stuff that I'm dealing with internally. So usually I'll pray to God about it and God will be like, just be vulnerable, just be transparent about how you feel. And of course, being me, I'm stubborn. I like to do it on my own. And sometimes those emotions just become very overwhelming and it forces me to go to somebody who I trust to talk to. And I think it's really forced me to really slow down, appreciate the life that I have, and to just, talk to people about how I feel because, you're never able to get those memories or those moments back. So I think that's one benefit that's come from it is that I'm able to communicate better.
Yes, because it is very hard when you, like, someone that's always in your day-to-day schedule and then next thing you know, they're gone. And so, yeah, it's really hard to, like, overcome that and stuff like that because so bad you want to pick up the phone and be like, okay, let me call. And then you just can't. But family is just, it comes back down. It comes back down to family. And family is just like, oh my goodness, like that one person that calls you just because they have you like on their heart and stuff like that. That's just, it's like the littlest things that just make you like so happy. Like me being like in the military now, like I'm so like the littlest things really do just spark me now. Like when I was younger and stuff, like when I was back at home, like it was still like my motivation, it still would spark me and stuff and make me so happy. But now it's like just even more to know that someone's thinking about you and they called you. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you touched on that too, because it is a great feeling to know that somebody out there cares about you. Because I could be going about my business, doing my weekly schedule, and like I'll be just so busy that I don't reach out to anybody, and then I'll get a text out of the blue saying, "Hey, said just checking to see how you're doing." It's like that. That's what keeps me going. It keeps me going knowing that there's people out there that God has placed in my life that cares about me and loves me.
yes. And you never know what a person is like going through, because I know sometimes like I always have someone, when I have someone on my mind and on my heart, it's just like my day is like so busy, so I'm constantly thinking about that person, but I'm not able to give them a phone call. And then when I actually call them and they're just like so happy to like hear me, and then they're talking about everything that's going on, and they're just like, yeah, it's just nice to know that you're one, just talking to someone on the phone, like you actually made their day and you were able to like help them to go on about their day. So that right there is just like, so if you feel like you need to call somebody, pick up the phone, call them.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we move on to your interest into the Army and how you got into that, if you could offer a piece of advice to someone out there who's dealing with some type of loss, and that could be with a relative, a friend, heck, even a pet, what would you say to that individual?
I would tell them to surround themselves with people that like love them and genuinely care about them. Just surround yourself around the people that you love, because those are the people that are going to encourage you and keep you on the right track and on your feet there. And just try not to like get involved in the wrong things, because your mind is going 100 miles per hour when that's taking place, and so you're thinking about all the bad things, and you're just thinking about all the memories and things of that nature. And so you just got to get yourself back on the right track. So just surround yourself with people that you love and stuff like that. Because I know when I was going through that, me and my sister, we were staying at Brenda's house and stuff like that. So that was really like perfect there. And just being around people that we love. So yeah, just surround yourself with people you love.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely difficult. I've had days where I've pretty much locked myself in the room and I don't really come out until I'm feeling better, but sometimes that's just what you need, that type of encouragement and love from someone who can give it to you the most.
Yeah, and just being able to like smile, oh my goodness, I never like, a smile is just like, oh my goodness.
Same
that
here.
Can make your day, just a little smile that you can, oh my goodness.
Absolutely. And what shift your what shift your gear to focus on the Army versus college? Because you're one of the first guests I've had on the show who is in the Army right now, besides my other friends. So talk to me about that. What sparked your interest into joining the Army?
Oh my goodness. So I always wanted to join ever since like when I was in high school. I always wanted to join. And plus, you always see, like, the Marines and everything, like, everyone's all over the place. And so I just always wanted to join, especially since a lot of people in our family were, like, in the military, and just hearing their stories and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to make a story of my own. Like, I want to make my own stories and stuff, being able to tell, because they were just so interesting to me. So, and then college, I actually tried to go to college. I went to Mount St. Mary's for a little while. I went to Mount St. Mary's, and ROTC class was the only class I actually liked going to. Other than that, I was in the gym. So I told them that I made up my mind and I was just gonna enlist in the military. And so they were able to they just told me thank you for your service and let me go enlist. So I was just thankful for that. College was like, it was a nice opportunity to go to college and stuff, and just being able to see how college life is and the feel of that. Because when you get fresh out of school, you see your friends, everyone's going to college and stuff like that. And so it's kind of like you want to, okay, everyone's going to college, that's the right thing to do. So that's like everyone's motivation and idea to what to do is to go to college. So But I'm glad that I finally took the time to, like, think about what I want to do instead of, like, looking at back what everyone else is doing. And so joining the military was my final decision.
Yeah, and that's key, doing what's on your heart and doing what you want to do, because I've had this experience too ever since I've graduated high school where, a lot of people, they've told me what they felt was right for me, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one by myself in my room at night contemplating this decision while you're going to be off doing, God knows what. So at the end of the day, it always comes down to doing what's right for you and choosing, the best decision that's going to benefit your life in the long run. And so for that, I commend you for chasing your dreams and following your dreams, because I know lots of people swayed you away from joining the Army.
Yes, it was like very hard because everyone's telling you like everyone's basically telling you like kind of what to do with your life, and so to me it's best because like you said, like that's your life, you're gonna have to live it. And a lot of people were just telling me like do what you love to do what's gonna make you happy, because at the end of the day, yes, I'm gonna have to sleep at night with what I'm doing in life. And so since I'm an active person, I love working out, and I'm constantly back at home, will be working out, running with my dog. So I was like, the military will be right for me because you're constantly working out, you're always on your feet, and that's what I like to do. So I was like, I might as well chase this dream.
Yeah, exactly. Do you see yourself going to college sometime down the road, maybe when you're older, getting your degree?
Yes, sadly, my sergeant, oh my goodness, they push that on us a lot to like get a degree and stuff like that, because sometimes we do have a lot of downtime when we're out in the field, and so we're able to, like, we have access to computers sometimes, like the laptops, we have access to laptops. And so they said we can do, like, online classes if nothing's going on. And so I'm thinking about doing that right now. I'm trying to get my barber's license there. So right now I'm trying to get that.
Oh, nice. You get your barber license. Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, later on, I think I may do school just so that I can have, like, something under my belt there. But so far, I'm still chasing my dreams, and I want to cut hair.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. What's your favorite place that you've been to since you've been in the Army?
Oh, my goodness. My favorite place. Well, actually, I just came back from Montana, so Melcher, Montana. Oh my goodness, that was my favorite place because it was like snowing really hard there, but we were able to go snowboarding, and yes, that was like an adventure. I loved it there.
Yeah. Do you like the cold?
It was so much fun.
I was saying, do you like the cold?
I don't like the cold, but I'm so glad my body finally kind of got immune to it, because it's like first time coming here, like it felt like my fingers were literally going to fall off. And then it's like it gets so cold that your skin's like burning, like your face is like burning. So just wearing just the proper cold weather gear and stuff like that was just trying to like get your body immune to it and used to it. But yeah, sergeants and stuff like that, they made sure, like, we make fun of the cold, like, and just have a fun time in a situation that we're in and just let us go on, like, little adventures on our free time. So, yeah.
I got you. I can respect that. I'm not really a fan of the cold like that. I like the warm weather. Nothing too hot, nothing too cold. I'm pretty much in the middle. Like 65-degree weather up in the 70s. Like, that's my weather.
Yes, send me back home because Annapolis was like perfect.
Nah, it's cold over here. It's cold.
Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness, hot, cold, like you get all the seasons and it's just like, oh, perfect. But
exactly.
Here it's like, nope.
Terrible.
Antarctica.
Terrible. But shifting gears from that, I want you to talk to me about your sermons that you give on Instagram Live. You started doing that a couple of months back. What led you into doing that?
Oh, my goodness. That was BMT. So BMT, it was just me and another girl. We were the only two that actually brought our Bible with us. And so we were unable, since, like, due to COVID and stuff like that, we were unable to go to church. And so so since I had my Bible and stuff like that, there were 2 Sundays I would sit back in the corner and I would just read my Bible and just take that alone time. because me being like brought up in the church, I was used to always Sundays and Wednesday night, Friday night Bible study. Like I was always used to like just being able to go to church and just give God the praise. So being away from that and having to be and not being able to go to church, I was able to just read my Bible. And then some of the girls, they will always see me read my Bible, and they were talking about how they wanted to go to church. And so we had like the day room there. So we would all go in the day room, and I started doing church service, and I started preaching to them and just telling them about the Bible and stuff like that. And it brought like, oh my goodness, almost all the girls on my flight would come to service, and we would just give God the praise. So that was like a blessing. And so when it was time for us to leave and we were graduating from basic training, they asked me if I could do it on Instagram Live so that I'm able to, so they can keep being able to see our service, see my service and stuff like that. So, yep, I started to do Instagram Live and preaching the word on there. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going to continue doing that because I'm able to bless them. And then they text me and be like, oh, my goodness, thank you for the words of encouragement and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's amazing, cousin. Like, it's an amazing testimony and a blessing to be able to have that voice to go around and spread God's word and bring people to him and let them know how he saves us in the end and how he loves us, even in spite of the mistakes that we make. God and Jesus is still for us in our lives. And it's crazy given how your father was also a preacher and now you're in a way a preacher. So it's almost like full circle in a lot of ways. So I think it's incredible.
Yes, it is crazy because all the girls would call me Pastor Creek, and that's what they would call my dad.
Yeah.
So it was like really crazy, like actually walking in his footsteps and stuff like that. But yeah, so me preaching my sermons and stuff, like you never know how much like God actually means to you. Because I remember, like, I'm not even gonna lie, as a kid going to Wednesday and Friday night Bible study, I did not want to do that. Oh my goodness, there's so many other things I wanted to do. And so now that I'm older and stuff, I'm able to I'm so thankful that my dad will force me to go to church and be there Wednesdays and Friday nights, because that right there was just my encouragement. That right there was able to get me throughout the week and stuff like that. So when all of that was taken away and I wasn't able to be able to do that and go to Wednesdays and Friday nights and be able to go to Sunday service, I was just like, oh my goodness, take me back home. I'll miss that.
Yeah, internally.
So, yeah.
Oh, go ahead, keep going.
Yes, you never know you never know how good you have it until it's all gone. Like that saying right there is just well said. It's well put, because once all that was taken away, it was just, oh my goodness, an eye opener.
Exactly. That's how I feel about the church now, because there would be, some Sundays I wouldn't really go to church, and other Sundays I would pop in and sit, and I would really, love the atmosphere and the vibe of everything. But when you're so caught up in doing stuff as a student and you're so busy throughout the week, sometimes you feel like you don't want to take that time out on that Sunday to be with the Lord. And now that everything is still shut down and closed down, it makes me really miss being in the church and listening to the word in person versus doing it over a computer. So I can agree with you on that. You never know what you got until it's gone. So you just have to savor the moments that you have now and try to be as present, because as I said earlier, you're not going to get that time back.
Yeah, so that right there was it was perfect.
Yeah. When you give your sermons every Sunday, does that pretty much set the tone for your week? Does it really help you out internally?
Yeah, so I'm grateful for it because I'm able to help other people and also help myself, because it makes me actually put the time out of my day to sit down and give God an hour and just read my Bible and stuff like that and get myself organized for church service on Sunday. So it really helps me a lot to be able to reflect on the Bible and just read and things of that nature. So yeah, it actually motivates me as well. So I can, because the crazy thing is it doesn't matter how many times you hear the word or read the Bible, it's always something different and it clicks to you and you get a different understanding of it. And so that right there was just perfect.
Absolutely. I feel that too. It definitely motivates me and gets me ready for my week listening to you every Sunday in my room. And I could be literally cleaning my room and organizing my room, and I have you in the background. So it definitely motivates me, gets me ready for my week. And even the same with my podcast too. Like I sit down each week and write down like who's going to be next, who's going to be coming on the show on this day, what kind of questions am I going to ask them. Like that sets the tone also for my week and motivates me and prepares me to just get on my purpose and get on my grind, the purpose that God instilled in me. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, and not only like being on live and stuff, like people, like even though it's live and I can't verbally hear them, I can see what they say at the bottom there, and I'm able to like reflect that in like, because they're me speaking to them, they're putting words out on there too of encouragement. So I'm able to see what they're saying, and it's able to encourage me and them as well.
Right. What's the importance, in your opinion, of building inner peace within yourself?
Building inner peace. So the importance of that to me is just being able to, just to be able to be like, enjoy your own company. So like inner peace is just being like with peace with yourself and what you're doing in life, and just doing the things that you love, and just being able to just be comfortable with what you're doing in life, and not just living day to day at a job that you don't like, to actually step out of your comfort zone.
All right, we back. Technical difficulties here on the podcast. My cousin's live from North Dakota, so hey, anything can happen, but guess what? We ain't gonna let that stop us. We are back live and live in color. My cousin Crystal, she's gonna get back to what she was saying about building inner peace within yourself. So, Crystal, go ahead.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So building inner peace with yourself. Yes. So just getting out of your comfort zone and just being with peace with yourself, and just being able to like that. It's kind of like just being able to be alone, like being able to just be able to have a nice time by yourself and alone. It's like having inner peace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think building inner peace reminds me of the fruit of the spirit, the top three things: peace, love, and joy. And you have to have those things within yourself. And if you don't have any of those things within yourself, then some way, somehow, you're going to have to find it. And I find that with, going to Christ, going to God with my emotions and how I feel, and just really being honest with myself, because I think that's what we need really as humans, to really be honest with our emotions and how we feel, not try to downplay it or sweep it under a rug, so to speak. We have to be honest with ourselves. And I think if we can be honest with ourselves about our emotions and how we feel, then that's how we build our inner peace, as you said.
Yes, that is the on, cousin.
Yeah, absolutely. What comes next for Crystal Creek? It's the year 2021. What are some of the things that you have for yourself as we go along this new year?
Oh my goodness! So yes, I'm in the process of getting my barber's license. Because back in tech school, when I was in like tech school, I would cut guys' hair and stuff like that, and that's what I was trying to do when I was back at home, trying to like cut hair and things of that nature. So when I got to tech school, I was able to cut some of the guys' hair, and so I'm still doing that now. But now I'm trying to actually get my license and being able to do that so I can cut like any kind of hair, like. So that's what I'm trying, my motivation to do there, and to get certified for my secret clearance, and trying to get that as well.
Gotcha.
So now I'm just trying to get myself together, trying to find out what's next after that. As soon as I get my barber's license, what I'm going to do next. I may go to school. Right now I'm just kind of just getting a feel of things, just doing what I love to do, and just chasing the dreams that I always wanted to chase.
Right. I feel you, cousin. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got a plan, you got a goal, and I know you're going to achieve it, and you're going to do big things with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my final question to you before I go ahead and let you go is, if you could offer a piece of advice to your former self, and that could be, yourself when you were a teenager or yourself when you were a child, what would you say to that young Crystal?
I always tell her to chase her dream, because we take so much time listening to other people's advice and stuff like that. And I could have pursued this dream like so much, like so earlier. But instead I was like listening to other people's advice and what they thought was going to be best for me. And just chase my dreams. I would tell myself to just chase my dreams and not to like look at what everybody else is doing. Just worry about, kind of like just worry about yourself.
Yeah.
And so I wish I was able to like, that's what I was telling myself so that I could have been doing this and then my time out in the military and stuff like that. And just doing everything I love.
Yeah, I feel you. You know, I'm the same way also. Just sticking with my dreams and goals, pushing all the naysayers to the side, all the bad advice people choose to give me, and keeping the people who are there for me close in my circle. So that way I can just continue to achieving what God had placed in me from the moment that I was brought into this earth.
Amen. That's perfect.
Yep. Well, Creek, thank you so much for your time. We've been trying to do this for about 6 or 7 months now. You know, we finally got this out here now. So I just want to thank you once again for your time.
Yes, thank you. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry it took so long. I was well overdue for this. Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad I was finally able to do it there.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I got you and KC on the show. I got my 2 cousins now on the show.
Yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on here. It was perfect.
Absolutely, Creek. No problem. I'll talk with you soon.
All right.
Yep. All right, y'all. This wraps up this edition of the CedTalks Podcast. Remember to stay blessed and stay encouraged, and I'll be back with you guys again soon.